This buffalo was not being chased by a predator. It was fighting something much smaller. As it stood at the edge of the swamp, dark, wet leeches clung across its lower neck, chest folds, belly, and inner legs. More were packed into the damp skin around the shoulder bases and beneath the jaw. Some were thin and newly attached. Others had already swollen after feeding. For such a massive animal, each individual parasite was small. But together, the irritation was constant. The buffalo stood heavily in the wet mud, breathing slowly. Its ears flicked. Its skin twitched in short, rippling waves. It shifted its weight and took a few slow steps through the marsh. Mud coated the lower body, but many of the leeches remained attached, especially deep in the protected folds where moisture stayed longest. Nearby, several cattle egrets were already feeding along the muddy edge. They were searching for tiny prey disturbed by the swamp. Small insects, larvae, and other invertebrates hidden in the wet ground. Food was available here, but it was scattered. Every mouthful had to be found one piece at a time. Then the buffalo changed everything. For small opportunistic birds, a large animal moving through wet ground can become a concentrated source of food. Its steps disturb tiny animals in the mud. Its body carries parasites, and when it pauses, both become easier to reach. At first, the egret stayed cautious. A buffalo does not need to attack to be dangerous. One step is enough. So the birds watched carefully, circling the animal and reading every shift of its posture. But the buffalo remained calm for the moment. That was the opening. One egret moved in first and picked a small exposed leech from the lower side of the neck. It came free quickly. The bird swallowed it immediately. Now the opportunity was clear. Soon, more egrets were feeding around the outer edges of the infestation. They worked the exposed parts of the shoulder, chest, and lower folds, taking smaller leeches that were easier to remove. The buffalo tolerated them briefly, not because it was cooperating, but because the birds were small, and for the moment, not worth reacting to. Still, the richest feeding spot was also the most dangerous one. At the base of the buffalo's neck, near a deeper damp fold below the ear, one swollen leech stood out from the rest. It was larger, darker, and more firmly attached than the others. One focal egret noticed it first. Step by step, the bird moved higher along the buffalo's side, keeping its balance on the muddy hide. Another egret stayed lower, watching closely. If the larger leech came loose and fell, there would be competition immediately. The focal bird leaned in and gripped the swollen leech with the tip of its bill. It pulled once. The leech held fast. It adjusted its angle and pulled again, still attached. Leeches grip with strong suckers, and in a wet skin fold, they are not easy to remove cleanly. The egret tried a third time. This time, the leech began to loosen, but at that exact moment, the buffalo reacted. Its skin twitched, one ear flicked sharply, the neck shifted. The sudden movement threw the egret off balance for an instant, and the swollen leech tore free all at once. For a fraction of a second, the bird had it. Then it slipped. The leech dropped from the bill, bounced down the buffalo's side, and landed in the churned mud below. At once, the nearby egrets lunged toward it. But the buffalo was already moving. It lifted its body, stepped forward, and forced the birds to jump back from the heavy shifting legs. None of them was struck. Their bodies collect parasites. Their feet disturb hidden prey. And opportunistic birds learn to exploit both. For the egret, the riskiest place offered the richest reward. For the buffalo, the irritation was far from over. As it moved deeper along the marsh edge, leeches still clung across the lower body, and the birds continued feeding only as long as the giant allowed them to stay close.